listening to Erik Wadell Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 24. Planned boring day. To be bored is most often something we think of as something involuntary, that sometimes we just get bored. To be bored is not as common in these days as it has been before. I know when I was a kid, I was bored all the time. I spent a lot of time just doing nothing. Staring out into space, maybe seeing how the sunlight reflected through specks of dust in the air. You know, things mostly kids notice. Things that grown-ups don't have time for. As adults, it is more difficult to find meaning or usefulness to boredom. A word that is very fashionable, maybe maybe since Second World War, or maybe even for longer than that, maybe since the Industrial Revolution. A popular word has been productivity. To be productive, to be efficient, to not waste time. Time is money. Get busy. For a number of generations now, it has been increasingly difficult to justify chosen boredom, voluntary boredom. Whatever would boredom be good for? Why would anyone want to be bored? There is so much that needs to be done. There are so many people calling for our attention. There is so much need, so many problems to be solved. It is easy to find 1,000 reasons why we should activate ourselves, and it is very hard to find even a single reason why we should do less and be more bored. So this episode is me doing that. I'm actually into being bored. It's a part of the framework I am teaching, the STAR framework of emotional skills. It is related to pausing. It is a key part of developing skills out of our emotions and not just being on the receiving end of emotions, not just being done unto, but also doing something with emotions, to use emotions as the raw material, if you will, into creating something out of nothing. So in this light, boredom is actually like a raw material that we can use. Boredom has functions for us that we seldom think about. We are seldom told about it. We are seldom taught what we can do with boredom. So let's look at what boredom can be. So basically, when we are bored, we are not doing anything. But when we are doing nothing, that doesn't mean that everything stops. Within us, in our minds, in our bodies, in our thoughts, feelings, memories, within us there are all sorts of motion going back and forth. Some motion within us is gentle and some motion is violent. Every time we are bored, we can feel these motions within us. Often that is unpleasant. Often that feels lonely. Often that makes us feel powerless or more insignificant than we want to. Every day we are doing things. We are doing a great many things. Every day we are working. We are making an effort to live our lives, to communicate with each other, to be a functioning part of the group, to solve problems, catch deadlines. We are very diligent people. and for everything we get accomplished, we feel that we have done what is expected of us. This episode is called Planned Boring Day. And leading up to me now speaking to you in this episode, I have had one of these planned boring days. So what I do is that as I wake up in the morning, I get a feeling that today would be a good day to be boring. It starts with this kind of sensation that I'm rather confused. I can feel like things are accelerating, like a speeding train. I can feel this sort of snowballing effect in my emotions. This sort of things ramping up or little by little getting out of hand. And this sort of sensation or experience is a good indication that it would be a good idea to have a boring day. So what is this planned boring day I'm talking about? So a planned boring day is basically that I am minimizing the elements in my day that are stimulating, problematic, triggering, complex, and new to me, novel. In a planned boring day, I am doing less. I'm not being as diligent. I am meeting less people, if anyone at all. I do not go online. I do not use the internet at all. I do not watch network TV. I don't take in anything new at all. Maybe I just hang around, do some chores. Maybe I watch a film. Maybe I read a book. Maybe I do some house cleaning, some cooking, some writing, some thinking. Just going about a modest day. So a planned boring day is in some ways a planned modest day, or a planned conservative day, or a planned kind of like how our ancestors did it when they had a day off. And what happens when we have one of these boring days is that all our diligence that we are performing in our daily lives, all our thoughts, the problems, the deadlines, the difficulties. All of that within us gets more time to just find its place within us. So, yes, we have this explicit intelligence. We can problem solve. We can be creative. But we also have this sort of deeper intuition, this sort of deeper intelligence or deeper consciousness, if you will. And this sort of deeper parts of ourselves needs time to deal with things. It needs time to sort things out, to sort of put everything in place. And we lead busy lives. A lot of things are happening. So putting in these boring days once in a while is sort of like doing house cleaning. It's letting our deeper intelligence, the deeper parts of us, our bodies, it's letting our bodies sort out impressions, sort out emotions, problems, relationships. So, to have a boring day is sort of like we are being the kid trying to do some cooking. And when kids do cooking, it's very messy. There is, food everywhere. It's a very chaotic setting. Kids doing cooking. So having a boring day is sort of like putting our kids to the side and letting a professional master chef do the cooking. So a professional master chef will do the cooking very effortlessly, very fluent, very competently. There is no mess. He just whips up something beautiful, very elegantly. And planning for these sort of boring days is emotionally the same. It is sort of like we put ourselves, we are the kid in this analogy. So we take ourselves out of the kitchen and stop trying to be so diligent all the time. And just let our deeper consciousness, our deeper intelligence do the work it needs to do to cook up something good. We are not always the best cooks. Some things need for us to take a step back and just be bored for it to happen. So, in conclusion, a boring day mostly consists of you not taking in too many impressions, not taking in too much new impressions. Just let yourself work through what you have accumulated thus far. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some space. And if I was to say only one thing you should do if you want to be more bored, if you want to try this out, just don't do internet for a day. Just skip internet. Just skip all the news, all the social media, all the mails. Just skip internet for a day. You will see the greatest difference in this regard if you just skip internet for a day. You're gonna be all right. You can skip internet for one day. The world will not end because of you skipping internet for one day. It's okay. That was it, what I wanted to say today. Do you have anything you're thinking about?
No.
No. Thank you.